Spirit warriors. Have you ever felt like you don't belong, yet you know deep down you were born to stand out? Why does life seem so much harder for you, so much deeper, while others coast through without a second thought? Could it be because you were chosen? There was once a little girl who always felt the world was too loud. She'd walk into a room and feel the tension before anyone said a word. She knew when people were lying, even when they smiled. While others were busy fitting in, she was busy trying to understand why she felt everything so intensely, why she could see things others ignored, and why, no matter how much she tried to blend in, life kept calling her out. One day, after yet another heartbreak she didn't deserve, she stopped and whispered to herself, "Why me?" And for the first time, she heard an answer back. "Because you're not meant to be like them. You were sent here to wake them up." Spirit warriors, if that hit your soul, don't you dare click off this video, because this right here might just be the confirmation you've been praying for. Chosen ones aren't made. They're born different, designed for divine disruption, built to break generational cycles, and called to carry light into the darkest corners of this world. You may not have a crown on your head, but trust me, your soul remembers the throne it came from. As the great Marianne Williamson once said, "It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." So if you've been battling storms that no one sees, shedding tears in silence and wondering if your pain even has a purpose, it does, it always has. And by the end of this video, you'll finally understand why. Chosen one, stay with me till the end. You need to hear all 7 clear signs, because sometimes your confirmation is hidden in the clarity you've been avoiding. This isn't just a video, this is your spiritual wake-up call. Let's get into it. Sign 1. You've always felt like the outsider. Being a chosen one means you often feel like a Wi-Fi signal in a room full of dial-up connections. Present, powerful, but rarely understood. From a young age, you probably sensed something was off. While other kids were glued to cartoons or faking stomach aches to skip school, you were contemplating the meaning of life, wondering why people lie when they don't have to, or why your dreams felt more real than reality. You didn't just think deeply, you felt deeply. You walked into rooms and could pick up the emotional temperature like a spiritual thermometer. And while everyone else was trying to go viral, you were just trying to survive Mercury retrograde without punching anyone. Your uniqueness didn't come with applause. In fact, it often came with side eyes and labels. In your own family, you might have been called too sensitive, too weird, or that classic, "you think too much." But let's be honest, when your spirit operates on a higher frequency, static from others is inevitable. That weirdness wasn't a flaw. It was an early clue that you were tuned into something most people can't hear. But here's the twist. What looked like rejection was really divine redirection. God wasn't isolating you to punish you, He was setting you apart to protect what He planted in you. The vision, the voice, the discernment, the light, it couldn't be contaminated by the noise of the crowd. You weren't built for average, you were built for impact. And that kind of purpose can't be forged in the comfort of conformity. You were never meant to blend in. You were designed to stand out. Why? Because someone has to show the world what truth, light, and spiritual power actually look like walking around in a human body. That's you. You're the living, breathing contradiction to a world that values surface over soul. While others are mimicking trends, you're channeling truth. While they follow the crowd, you follow the calling. And let's be real, normal is overrated. Who wants to be just another face in the algorithm when you were chosen to shift spiritual atmospheres? So embrace the awkward moments, the silence, the deep knowing. That's not strangeness, it's sacredness. You're not weird. You're wired differently for a divine reason. Line 2. You experience deep, random spiritual awakenings. Sometimes it starts as a dream so vivid it lingers long after you've opened your eyes. Other times it hits you like divine Wi-Fi. No password, no warning, just boom. A flood of understanding mid-conversation while folding laundry or staring at a cloud like it's whispering secrets. And no, you're not crazy. That sudden clarity, that soul-level download, it's not random. It's activation. A spiritual ping from the Most High, reminding you that you're not just here to exist. You're here to awaken. Chosen ones don't stumble through life asleep. You go through a series of awakenings, each more intense than the last. It's not a one-and-done spiritual glow-up. It's more like cosmic boot camp. You're shedding illusions the way snakes shed skin, uncomfortable, vulnerable, but necessary. While others stay trapped in loops, repeating toxic patterns and calling it just the way life is, you're the pattern breaker, the curse lifter, the one who says, no more, even when your voice shakes. And yes, there are side effects. People fall away, not because you've changed too much, but because they stayed the same. Your energy starts to feel like a truth serum. Fake friends can't hide behind masks anymore. Emotional breakdowns become spiritual breakthroughs. You might cry while looking at a leaf, or feel deep compassion for a stranger in the supermarket. Humor moment. If you've ever Googled, "Why am I crying over trees and strangers?" Congrats, spirit warrior, you're officially in the club. You'll crave solitude like oxygen. Not because you're antisocial, but because noise becomes unbearable when you've heard the whisper of God. You're not isolating, you're calibrating. You're syncing with Source. That's how the Most High trains you, not in crowded rooms, but in quiet moments, where you're stripped of distractions and forced to face your soul. What's wild is that while this feels intensely personal, you're not alone. Across the globe, others are waking up too. You're part of a divine uprising, a soul revolution. This isn't about religion, it's about remembrance. Remembering that you were never just flesh and bone, you are light in human form, here on assignment. So when the next download hits, don't ignore it. That's your spirit Wi-Fi connecting. Stay logged in, Angel. Your mission is already underway. Sign 3. Struggles follow you, but so do miracles. Chosen ones don't live easy lives, they live miraculous ones. Let's be real. If you're a chosen one, ease is a luxury you rarely get to enjoy. Your path is anything but smooth. It's more like a wild ride with unexpected curves, steep drops, and the occasional cliffhanger. One moment you're catching your breath from a hard-won victory, and the next you're blindsided by a new trial. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. It's not random. It's not just bad luck. It's divine pressure, spiritual conditioning designed to stretch, sharpen, and strengthen you for a purpose greater than comfort. Think about how diamonds are formed. They start as carbon, buried deep within the earth, under intense heat and crushing pressure. It's not a peaceful process. It's violent, relentless, and transformational. But without it, there would be no brilliance, no worth, no light-catching clarity. Chosen ones are formed in much the same way. Life keeps applying pressure, not to destroy you, but to refine you. That financial collapse, that betrayal, that health scare, they didn't come to ruin you. They came to reveal the power God placed inside you. Here's where it gets divine. Just when you think you're about to crack, something shifts. A breakthrough comes from a place you didn't expect. A door opens that you didn't even know existed. The money shows up right on time. A diagnosis suddenly changes. A storm clears. That's not coincidence. That's divine intervention. That's the invisible hand of God stepping in just when all hope seems lost. And no, it's not always flashy. Miracles aren't always thunder and lightning. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they're quiet little moments of grace, clarity, or unexpected help that arrive with perfect timing. But they're there. Proof that while you may bend, you are never allowed to break. God's protection isn't in sparing you the battle. It's in preserving your soul through it. And if you're still standing after all you've been through, that's the evidence. You're marked for more. Your scars aren't signs of weakness. They're symbols of survival and proof of divine favor. So next time life gets heavy, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this shaping me to become? Because chosen ones don't live easy lives, but they absolutely live miraculous ones. Sign 4, you're highly intuitive, and people think you're psychic. You know that feeling. You walk into a room, and before a single word is said, something feels off. You sense tension in the air. You feel the sadness clinging to someone's aura like fog. You instantly know who's faking the smile, who's carrying anger behind their eyes, and who's about to emotionally hijack the entire vibe. No one told you. No one had to. Your spirit just knows. That's not paranoia, that's perception. Sharp, raw, divine perception. While others lean on logic, body language, or spoken words, you, Earth Angel, are dialed into a frequency most people don't even know exists. You were born spiritually sensitive, with a sixth sense that doesn't just pick up what's visible, but what's invisible, energetic, and deeply emotional. Science is beginning to catch up to this reality. Empaths and highly sensitive individuals actually show increased mirror neuron activity in the brain. That's the part responsible for emotional resonance. You're not too sensitive, you're deeply attuned. You don't just walk into rooms, you scan them. Your presence is like sonar in a sea of unspoken truths. And yes, it's why you get exhausted easily in crowds or around energy vampires. You're not antisocial. You're just absorbing emotional frequencies like a sponge in a thunderstorm. That's why solitude isn't loneliness for you. It's soul maintenance. You retreat not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Spiritual maintenance isn't optional for chosen ones, it's essential. People notice, even if they don't understand it. They get nervous when you look at them too long because somehow they feel like you can see through the mask. And let's be honest, you usually can. You didn't ask for this gift, but you honor it. You don't walk around exposing people or flaunting your intuition. But when it's time to speak truth, your words cut through lies like divine lightning. And it shakes people. That's okay. Chosen ones aren't here to make everyone comfortable. We're not ego masseuses. We're soul stirrers. We're the alarm clocks for those still spiritually sleeping. So yes, keep sensing, keep isolating when needed, keep protecting your energy. It's not a weakness. It's your sacred assignment. And every room you enter is better because your spirit walked in, quietly rewriting the atmosphere with divine authority. Sign 5. You're a magnet for jealousy, envy, and projection. You could be minding your business, just sipping water, vibing to your playlist, maybe even petting a cat, and yet someone somewhere is fuming. Why? Because your light, your presence, your energy, it triggers their shadows. And no, this isn't just poetic fluff. It's a psychological and spiritual truth. Chosen ones, those called to walk in purpose, truth, and higher alignment, naturally reflect what others are avoiding. When you walk into a room grounded, peaceful, and focused, it subconsciously calls out the chaos, laziness, and dishonesty in others. It's not that you're trying to expose anything. Your existence simply makes people feel what they've been trying to suppress. This is why you may notice fake friends ghost you, co-workers act strangely, or family members throwing backhanded compliments that sting more than they should. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just living in your light. And that light highlights what they haven't healed. It's spiritual friction, not personal offense. They don't hate you. They hate what God is doing through you. That's a powerful distinction. You're walking evidence that elevation is possible. That growth is real. That destiny doesn't negotiate with mediocrity. And to someone who's still wrestling with their demons, your freedom feels threatening. Psychologically, this is linked to projection. People often deflect their insecurities onto others. Your confidence? Arrogance. Your discipline? You're just lucky. Your silence? She thinks she's better. But none of that's about you. It's about their perception of themselves in contrast to you. So when the world starts acting funny, remember this. It's not your job to shrink so others feel tall. You weren't born to blend in with darkness. You were born to shine in it. So stay gracious, stay humble, and keep vibing, preferably with that same glass of water. But never ever dim your light to make others comfortable in their shadows. You're not too much. They're just not used to the frequency you operate on. And hey, don't take their fear personally. Even the brightest lamp will seem offensive if someone's been sitting in the dark too long. And if anyone tells you you're intimidating, smile and say, I'm not intimidating, you're just intimidated. Big difference, spirit warrior. Then keep shining, because someone out there needs that light just to find their way. Sign 6. You feel a constant pull to something greater. While the world races after job titles, social clout, luxury cars, and picture-perfect lifestyles, you've always felt a quiet tug that none of those things could ever satisfy. Sure, you might have played the game for a while, got the degree, landed the job, smiled for the selfies, but deep down, something inside you kept whispering, this can't be it. And guess what? That voice isn't wrong. That restless ache isn't a flaw. It's the compass of the chosen. You're not here for surface-level living. Your soul has no appetite for the shallow. You crave depth, meaning, truth. You crave a life that matters, one that leaves a mark not in likes or dollar signs, but in transformation. That deep yearning isn't a random feeling, it's spiritual evidence. It's the mark of someone with an assignment. And here's the twist. Your calling was never meant to glorify you. It was meant to flow through you, to reach others, heal others, free others. You're not the final destination, you're the vessel. Chosen ones are often born into situations that don't make sense, families that misunderstand them, circles that reject them, environments that feel foreign. That's not by accident. Your discomfort is the divine nudging you forward. Many chosen ones report feeling out of place from a young age, not because they were broken, but because their spirit refused to settle in mediocrity. And yes, the road can be lonely. You may question everything. You may grieve the normal life you never seem to fit into. But all of that pain, all of that confusion, it's part of the spiritual training. Pressure makes diamonds, and destiny requires refinement. Science has even shown that those with a strong sense of purpose live longer, experience fewer health issues, and maintain higher levels of motivation and resilience. Purpose literally heals. That's why ignoring your calling feels like sickness. It starves the soul. So if you feel like you're walking a path others don't understand, it's because you are. You're not here to follow. You're here to lead. You're not here to chase trends. You're here to shift the atmosphere. The mission may not be easy, but it is yours. The voice you hear inside is sacred. It's calling you to rise, not for your glory, but for the legacy that will come through you. Answer it. Sign 7. You've been protected from things that should have destroyed you. Let's be real. What you survived should have taken you out. That heartbreak, that betrayal that shook you to the core, that dark night when you didn't think you'd see the light again. Most people don't walk away from that kind of pain intact. But you did. You're still here. Not just breathing, but healing, glowing, radiating something deeper than before. That glow isn't just about looks. It's the kind of inner light that only comes from surviving the fire and refusing to be consumed by it. Chosen ones walk a different path. It's not always paved with ease, recognition, or riches. In fact, your bank account might not reflect the wealth of your spirit, and your social circle might look a little sparse. But divine favor isn't always loud. It's subtle. It shows up in the way you bounce back after life knocks you down. It shows up in the strange, divine timing of it all. When you're at your breaking point, and suddenly, out of nowhere, a sign shows up. A phone call, a scripture, a stranger's kind words. God has a way of whispering, keep going, right when you need it most. That's not coincidence. That's preservation. You've been kept, chosen, protected by a higher power because your mission isn't done yet. Science tells us the body can regenerate after trauma. Broken bones heal, wounds close. But what they don't always explain is how the spirit does too. Chosen ones are wired differently. You regenerate not just physically, but spiritually. You alchemize pain into power, scars into strength. And now that season of hiding, of hurting, of holding it all together while no one knew what you were carrying. That season is ending. This is your rise. You didn't survive all that to stay quiet, small, or stuck. No, you were preserved for this moment, for impact, for purpose. So don't question your glow, your strength, or your place in this world. You're not broken. You're reborn. Spirit warriors, you didn't find this video. This video found you. You are not crazy. You are not cursed. You are called. And your calling doesn't come with crowds. It comes with character. Your pain has purpose. Your isolation has intention. And your weirdness, it's your witness. So don't run from it. Embrace it. Because you're not here to be like the rest. You're here to awaken the best. Stay grounded, stay glowing, and stay awake on your spiritual journey. You, chosen one, were born for this.